This is another in the Academy of Self series. The title of this writing is The Solitary Godhead is an Everywhere Presence at this very moment. A New Age revelation. The ignorance of dualism is the darkness of gross unreason, while the truth of holism is the light of pure reason. The consciousness of holism envelops the unrestricted individuality with the love that fulfills, the wisdom that secures, and the truth that frees the soul from the duel of duality, which bound the restricted personality to the wheel of birth and death. The consciousness of holism bestows eternal life upon the immortal pilgrim. The eternal principle of cosmic reason permeates the infinite mind of the Solitary Godhead as the governing principle of the entire cosmos. The Solitary Godhead is not a being, not a person, not the three persons of the so-called Holy Trinity, and certainly not a Father, Creator God, and residing in a distant heaven apart from His creation. The Solitary Godhead is neither male nor female, but is the formless, all-pervading, all-knowing, all-powerful consciousness of the ordered universe, which permeates all of form. The consciousness of all integral persons is inseparable and undifferentiated from the consciousness of the cosmos. The minds of these self-governing persons cannot be separated from nor differentiated from the holo mind of the Solitary Godhead. Prefix holo is derived from the Greek root holos, meaning entire, which signifies perfect, unrestricted, undiminished, thereby suggesting that the holo mind could not be decreased from the infinite to the finite, nor could it be reduced in power and authority. The solitary mind of the Godhead is the one power that knows all and is everywhere present, of which all existent beings, with the powers of sense perception, must partake of on an individual basis. And to partake of this holo mind is to possess the aptitude for prevailing over the environment, for producing genuine phenomena, and what is more significant, for preserving a singular and unrestricted individuality. Of all the phenomena the world has ever known, the human brain is the most spectacular and the least understood. Every undamaged, untampered with human brain is the brain of potential genius, and yet genius is as rare and as precious as a perfect diamond, and probably took as long to evolve. A human brain that has been empowered with cosmic life energy will be imbued with cosmic reason, because it is immersed in cosmic consciousness, which is the unrestricted consciousness of the Solitary Godhead. Genius is an extraordinary intelligence that is harmoniously balanced between the immensity of that which is known and the infinity of that which is unknown, within a boundless mind that has nothing on it but peace. The word genius is derived from the Latin meaning a tutelary spirit, and inasmuch as the spirit of the living universe is all permeating, every human brain is immersed in and imbued with the omniscience of the Solitary Godhead. But, like all mystics, it is only the autonomous persons who have realized that, of and by myself, I can neither know anything nor do anything. It is the divine tutor and spirit patron within that knows all and does all. We human beings have an unlimited potential, if and when we rise above the limitation and ignorance of our normal emotional intellects and tap into the natural spiritual integrity of the holo mind. Genius is a cosmic gestalt and a functional synthesis of an individual brain, the universal mind, and the indivisible cosmos within the consciousness of holism. Holism is the realization that any living organism has a reality other and far greater than the sum of its constituent parts, which is what makes genius a brain-mind-cosmos gestalt. All autonomous persons are therefore an integration of cosmic consciousness, cosmic reason, cosmic life energy, as embodied representatives and personifications of the Solitary Godhead. Three aspects of the Solitary Godhead within any and all autonomous persons are the fathomlessness of their human nature, the universality of their enlightened mind, and the limitlessness of their human spirit. It is obvious that to be human is to be enlightened, and therefore the masses of restricted personalities who are not are plainly functioning at a subhuman level of awareness. It was Carl Jung who said, "Religion, if nothing else, is obedience to awareness." So therefore, anyone whose cognition is not transcendental to the threshold of the conscious awareness pertinent to the five common senses is yielding to the limitation and ignorance of a normal emotional intellect and missing out on the unlimited truth of the divine tutor. There is a vast disparity between the restricted personalities who are obedient to their normal emotional intellects and those who obey the natural spiritual integrity of the Solitary Godhead. The following quote from the genius of Albert Einstein reveals him to have been a mystic. The most beautiful emotion we can experience is the mystical. It is the source of all true art and science. He to whom this emotion is a stranger, who can no longer wonder and stand in rapt awe, is as good as dead. To know that which is impenetrable to us really exists, manifesting itself as the highest wisdom and the most radiant beauty, which our dull faculties can comprehend only in their limited, most primitive forms. This knowledge, this feeling, is at the center of true religiousness. In this sense, and in this sense only, I belong to the ranks of devoutly religious men." Unquote. It requires the inductive imagination of a devoted physicist coupled with the deductive reasoning of a genuine mystic to give recognition to the natural spiritual integrity of the Solitary Godhead. There have been many such devoutly religious persons over the several millennia of recorded history who have been damned as heretics by the religiosity of churchianity with its inane sectarianisms. These narrow, anxious, moralistic sectarians, who are obedient to the orthodox creeds, traditions, doctrines, and the ravings of organized religions, are the foolish and hypocritical nams who are as good as dead, because they adhere to the blind faith, vapid hope, loveless charity of a long-dead dogma. The Solitary Godhead is everywhere present at this very moment, and the Creator-created creation is unfolding in this very place where you are and I am, because we are always and in all ways at the center of infinity in the middle of eternity, regardless of where and when we are in relation to one another. All truly religious persons abide in the habitat of peace, wherein the actuality of here and the reality of now continuously intersect. The word religion derives its meaning from the Latin legere, which signifies to connect. So therefore, relegere means to reconnect ourselves to the Solitary Godhead that inheres all of creation. To be aware of the indivisibility of the Creator-created creation and to be obedient to that awareness is to be attuned to the infinite and at one with the eternal. In this condition of divine interconnectedness, the integration of the brain-mind cosmos is complete within the conscious awareness of yet another autonomous person who gives recognition to the Solitary Godhead. The I Am awareness of the singular person and the I Am consciousness of the Solitary Godhead are inseparable and undifferentiated one from the other. All autonomous persons can therefore state with cosmic impunity that The I am that I am is identical with the I am that I am of the Solitary Godhead. The quantity of one within the quality of many has been understood by seers, sages, and mystics in all ages and by every culture. The Chinese Buddhist Zheng Tzu-an said, "In the not two are no separate things, yet all things are included. The one is none other than the all, and all is none other than the one." He also said, "One is all is one. If this is realized, no worry about being perfect." The Christian mystic Meister Eckhart stated it simply, "All is in one, and one is in all." The Sufi Jila expressed it in this manner, "Here the all is both one and many. Marvel at the plurality of what is essentially one." And Black Al, a Sioux Indian, stated, "All are really one." The mystic William Blake spoke of this eternal at-one-ment in this fashion, "If the gates of perception were cleansed, all things would appear as they really are, infinite." And Meister Eckhart again, "Cease all desire, and what is left of thyself is God." Once divine order is re-established as the I am that I am within the conscious awareness of a self-governing person, the boundless mind of the living universe is realized as the consciousness of holism. And anyone whose awareness has expanded to this apex of cognition is no longer bound by the limitation and ignorance of the doctrine of dualism. He who serves a purpose has no time to seek meaning. He who has found meaning no longer serves time. He who serves time is suffering the limitations of karma. He who is the Lord of karma has overcome the desire-time duality limits. He who is no longer limited is free of confusion, and all that is left is the Solitary Godhead. The mystical East understood the consciousness of holism as this flower garden psalter reveals. In the heaven of Indra, there is said to be a network of pearls so arranged that if you look at one, you see all the others reflected in it. In the same way, each object in the world is not merely itself, but involves every other object, and in fact is every other object. The poetic metaphors of nirvanic bliss, heavenly peace, samadhic ecstasy, Brahmic splendor, and many others are descriptive figures of speech relating to an interior milieu, not an exterior environ. All of these mystical realms are referring to the infinite withinness of an eternal consciousness. The immediacy of this immanent, transcendent conscious awareness opens the human sensorium up as a channel for the natural spiritual integrity of the Solitary Godhead, and a profusion of cosmic reason inundates the person's brain with inspirations directly from the universal mind, which reconnects the person back to the consciousness of the cosmos. At last, an unlimited infinite perception replaces the limited finite deception of the five common senses. With the five senses thenceforth enhanced by the light of pure reason, the uncommon mystical senses initiates the autonomous person to the way of the I am that I am. This illumination subjugates the normal emotional intellect of the restricted personality to the natural spiritual integrity of an unrestricted individuality, which makes the present author obedient to the following awareness. In the beginning of each cosmic moment, an infinity of cosmic life energy, as the primary abstract cosmic reason and alpha source consciousness, expresses a noumenal thought form. In this noumenal thought form, a secondary concrete awareness lives and moves and is substantiated as a manifested, animated point of omegal cognition. This creative action is a perpetual alpha omegal production of mind consciousness, matter awareness, wherein the one is implying the other in a continuous reciprocation of natural spiritual qualities. The consciousness of the cosmos is a source-issue interaction of the I am that I am, as both the consciousness of spirit and the awareness of nature within the cognition of mind. The Alpha Omega is an infinite eternal continuity, with the quantity of one consciousness inhering the quality of all awareness. The Alpha Omega is the unceasing, uncircumscribed, phenomenal movement-light sound which is flowing out of the unmanifest, immutable, still dark, silent, noumenal matrix, or cosmic womb. A perpetual noumenal phenomenal motion makes its appearance as an emanating, radiating, vibrating, environmental scene, full of people, places, and things. This means that the creative action of the living universe is unceasing and not just a once-created artifact overseen by an absentee creator, as supposed by the creationist theory. The evolutionary life force is an animating consciousness of principal intelligence power, which is moving in a constant centrifugal, centripetal, creative action. This perpetual motion is at the nucleus of every energy-matter particle throughout the infinite noumenon, which constitutes each of the eternal phenomenon appearing as form. It is the relative emptiness that substantiates apparently separate forms, holding them together with an interpenetrating noumenal plenum, which interconnects the seeming many into one absolute reality. The absoluteness of the eternal plenum is a substantial infinity of originating energy matter, out of which all form appears in exact accord with the will of the immanent mind of the Solitary Godhead, in which all of existence form lives, moves, and preserves its being. A perpetual energy-matter motion incorporates all of the space-time formations as a three-dimensional evolutionary force field of cosmic consciousness, expressing thoughts as things into immediate awareness. The creative progression of the evolutionary force field is time moving forward through space, while still maintaining the actuality of here within the reality of now. Mind is always and in all ways improving the impressed image into an expressed likeness of a perfect system of centrifugal, centripetal, energy-matter absorption. The energy molecules are absorbed into the minerals are absorbed into the plants are absorbed into the animals are absorbed into the humans, and the humans are absorbed into the absolute cosmic spectrum of the Solitary Godhead. This is the kingdom of harmony that contains all of the other kingdoms, from the infinitesimal microcosms up to the infinity of macrocosms. The absolute consciousness is the accumulated relative awareness at all levels of cognition, from the originating proton on up to the ultimate monad, with all of being a single correlated cosmic event. With all levels of the immediate cognition bound fast to the eternal consciousness, time is a golden thread upon which all events are strung, while space is the infinite awareness of the ever-present pearl of great price. In this state of at-one-ment, there is no separate ego to be centered upon, there is no separate self to be conscious of, and there is no separate personality to be in identity crisis over. All of existence, as a source-issue conscious awareness, is a personification of the solitary I am that I am of the Godhead, as well as a unification of the consciousness, life, love, wisdom, truth, spirit, power, essences of the living universe. The immediate awareness of this space-time consciousness of holism is an intrinsic cognition at the root of knowing, above the emotions, beyond the intellect, and before thinking could confuse the issue. The ineffability of this immanent, transcendent absoluteness defies the most poetic metaphors, which makes all languages inadequate in attempting to define the undefinable. This enlightenment experience cannot be classed as an experimental experience, since all such mundane experience is relative to a subject-object duality. One might come close to expressing this sense of divine interconnectedness with the solitary Godhead if one were to say that it is a state of pure nothingness, before thought, preceding experience, beyond subjectivity, and yet an impression of infinite fullness without the limitations of space-time objectivity. Upon the return to the three-dimensional experience, a conviction as to the sacredness of nature and the divinity of spirit is permanently impressed upon the awakened sensibilities. The realization that the only profanity is the mortal intellect that sees anything profane in nature. This forces the recipient of such revelation into seeking the sanctuary of a natural spiritual community, while avoiding, if possible, the emotional intellectual atmosphere of established society. The word image means a counterpart, an exact resemblance formed by rays of light refracted through a lens or reflected from a mirror. The word likeness suggests an essential and specific sameness in the qualities and attributes under discussion. All of manifestation, beginning with the mineral, plant, and animal, and on up to man, is created in the image and likeness of the inherent consciousness of the solitary Godhead. In the beginning of each moment is imagination, and imagination is with consciousness, and imagination is consciousness. In the next moment is the likeness, and the likeness is with awareness, and the likeness is awareness. When the source declares, "Let there be light," the image is refracted through the prisms of universal mind, and a counterpart is created, which is an exact likeness resembling that which is held in imagination. The essential and specific qualities and attributes are reflected in the issue, radiating out of the totality of the source. It is a particular likeness which makes the issue identical in nature with the spirit of the source image. Meister Eckhart, who was one of the greatest mystics of the Middle Ages, in which the West has ever known, made many bold statements. The following are very pertinent to this writing. For man is truly God, and God is truly man. And the Eternal didn't beget but one only begotten. The Eternal is forever begetting the only begotten. The begetting of creation is a refracted image and likeness which reflects the abstract thought forms impressed upon the universal mind, which results in the natural spiritual rhythm that pervades heaven and earth. The consciousness of holism has no opposites, since it is sundered from two-ness. One of the mystical sutras of the East expresses the non-duality in the following manner. False imagination teaches that such things as light and shade, long and short, black and white, etc., are different and are to be discriminated. But they are not independent of each other. They are different aspects of the same thing. They are terms of relation, not reality. Conditions of existence are not of a mutually exclusive character. In essence, things are not two, but one. Unquote. In this new age of ultimate reality actualization, the universal mind reveals once again that there are no boundaries. Once the natural spiritual rhythm permeates the specific mind of an individual, there can be no boundaries. It would also be true that a spiritualized humanity would have no need for borders. In this age of pure deductive reasoning, the infinite eternal universe is the ultimate riddle to be solved. The new age psychologies go beyond the superstitions, the myths, the astral, the occult, and the Jungian archetypes into a supra-consciousness of pure reality without hierarchies. Cosmic consciousness is the integral, uncluttered, inseparable, undifferentiated universal mind of the cosmos. in a unity of one natural spiritual interconnectedness. The universal mind fills infinity for eternity as a single unified force field of principle, intelligence, power. This unity of one principle, intelligence, power is an omnipresent spirit, an omniscient energy, and an omnipotent nature, without rival, therefore without second. This infinite eternal consciousness is the boundless life field of a spaceless, timeless source matrix, and out of this matrix all of existence issues in an eternal moment of creative activity. After a brief span of animated manifestation, the issue returns to its source, which is unmanifest, inanimate thought. Then it appears again and again as a perpetual metamorphosis in a source-issue interaction. The divine source and sacred issue are mind impressions, matter expressions, in a natural spiritual rhythm as one dynamic holistic correlation. The interpenetration of spirit essence is the nature substance of mind matter. It appears as thought forms of noumenon becoming phenomenon, in a cross-correlation of complementary qualities vibrating at different octaves of metamorphosis. The living universe is holistic, not dualistic. It is qualitative, not quantitative. The entire unmanifest noumenon and the total manifest phenomenon is the quantity of oneness expressed as the quality of manyness. The consciousness of holism is the source consciousness beyond the subjective, objective temperament possessed in ordinary human awareness. This deceptive subject-object awareness results in the false doctrine of dualism with the belief in separate principles of mind and matter. This is the disunity of man's physical body from his mental body, and the worst aspect of this dualism is the theological doctrine which believes that there are two eternal and opposing principles, one evil and one good, that are vying for dominion over the universe. The result of this inanity is the ludicrous concept of an anthropomorphic devil and an anthropomorphic God in a condition of perpetual battle between the force of evil and the force of good. The ignorance of dualism is the darkness of gross unreason, while the truth of holism is the light of pure reason. Holism is the consciousness of quality, while dualism is the limited belief in quantity, and is due to the temporal boundaries of the five senses. The phenomenal universe is holographic in nature, and the human sensorium is a hologram of the image likeness. It is created by the concentrated light of pure reason, causing a three-dimensional projection upon the space-time electromagnetic environmental screen. The phenomenal universe is the great mundane illusion, which is reflected as the holographic mental surroundings of the noumenal reality. The great mundane illusion is an image-likeness holographic reflection of the ultimate reality. It is the consciousness of holism, with the quantity of oneness projecting its incalculable attributes with the quality of manyness. The primordial vibration of the supreme Om is the seed sound of the word made manifest. Every second, the consciousness of holism is creating itself anew. The indivisible word is the single noumenal source, and the entire material manifestation is its singular phenomenal issue. If the primordial Om were to cease its emanation, radiation, vibration for but a moment, the holographic universe observed through the five senses would disappear instantly back into the infinite, still dark, silent void from out of which it issues. Being consciousness bliss is a timeless state of fulfilled awareness with an immediate intrinsic cognition of the eternal consciousness. It is the realization of the love that fulfills, the truth that frees, and the wisdom that immortalizes as the consciousness of holism. Having substantiated a complete liberation of full illumination through total identification with the love, truth, wisdom triune, The individual walks autonomous, fulfilled, free, secure, and enthusiastically awake to the infinite withinness of it all. The profound simplicity of this singular paradox will not be emotionally accepted nor intellectually comprehended. It must be spiritually realized as an integral recognition of an infinite eternal visionary moment of utter far-seeing lucidity. From the moment of immediate awareness, the eternal consciousness floods the individual's mind-brain with its continuous flow of profound inspirations and of infallible insights. The insights and inspirations are so diametrically opposite to every ideology, man-made ideology, that an extreme withdrawal from all organized establishment is essential until the recipient of these revelations can satisfactorily interpret and clearly express the flow of abstract thought. This requires the ability and aptitude for contemplation, which is the profound simplicity of not doing, letting go, mindfulness. I thank you.